Bandwidth for First Updates Now is supported by AndyMark. Are you competition ready? Go to andymark.com and keep your team inspired. And by the Blue Alliance. Keep up to date on all live and archived First Robotics events and team stats at thebluealliance.com. First Updates Now is brought to you by viewers like you. Fun relies on the generous support of our fans in order to continue to keep creating content. Please consider donating, giving bits, or subscribing. Subscribe for a few bucks a month or for free through Twitch Prime. And don't forget that our subscribers get 5x chance to win on all giveaways.
Tonight on FUNalysis, it's time to break down and analyze match strategy and tactics as we get ready for the championships. I'm Karthik Canticus of Apathy, and today we have a special guest, Garrison Hefter.
Hi, everybody. I'm Garrison.
And, of course, we have the Chief of Fun, Tyler Olds.
Good evening, everybody. Can't wait to break down some awesome matches with you tonight.
Don't forget to make sure you tag at First Updates Now with any questions you might have about any of the matches we're talking about or anything else that you really want us to discuss during the show. We should have some time to take a lot of questions tonight, so it'll be really good. During the competition season, we do have an acceleration timetable, so if we don't get to all your questions, we'll try and take them in chat after the show.
So tonight we do have a one-of-a-kind giveaway that I want to show you guys. Many of you have seen this awesome Do the Math, Save the World filter that's been put up on Facebook. Thousands of people have done it, but Christine TF and Wordplay All Day today is giving away a limited quantity. She's only made 10 of these in the stickers, and she's going to be giving away one of these today during FUNalysis. So if you're interested in getting this, because this is really unique and really special to a lot of people, make sure that you follow First Updates Now on Twitch. Or if you choose to help support Fun, you can also subscribe and receive 5x chance to win. Just a reminder too, guys, there is a huge sale going on bits, which is Twitch's currency that they use as well. You can get 500 bits, which gives us $5. It's worth $7, but it's on sale for 99 cents right now. So if you were thinking about supporting our streams before, this is the time to do it, because for $1, we get 5 out of it. It's an amazing way to help support us as well. And you get a really dope badge next to your name all the time. That stays with you all the time to show that you help support Fun and to get on our leaderboard as well. So thank you, everybody who has helped support First Updates Now.
All right, let's just get started right away here. Yeah. So we're going to go to our first match breakdown of the evening. Garrison, you're going to be talking to us about what happened at the New England District Championship. So I watched a little bit of this event after the fact. Really high-scoring teams there. I'm really especially excited to see you talk about what 195 and 319 are up to.
Yeah, absolutely, Karthik, and thanks for that intro. So let's give a little backstory. The match I'm going to be analyzing is qualification 5. Quarterfinal 5, excuse me. So this is quarterfinal 1, match number 2. So the 1 seed versus the 8 seed. The 1 seed already won the first match. And let's give you a little bit of backstory on these robots if you don't know who they are. So in the 1 seed, we have Team 195, the Cyber Knights, who is the probably undisputed best robot in New England. They're 51-3 this season, with 2 of their 3 losses coming in their first tournament, and then their third came late on Saturday morning at District Championships. They were up against 125, 133, and 230, which is, I mean, nobody's going to beat that. And then they were partnered with Team 319, Big Bad Bob, probably the second best robot in New England this year. Very strong scale bot. And their third partner is Team 5846, the South Coast Corsairs, one of only 3 Lobots playing in the whole tournament. And then in blue, we have the 8 seed, which is captained by one of the other Lobots in the tournament, Team 4557, the Full Metal Falcons. And they picked up 95, the Grasshoppers, and 4564, Orange Chaos, as their other picks. The reason I chose this match is this is probably the closest match the 1 seed plays the entire tournament. And it's not because somebody challenges them on the scale. This is a pretty unique strategy. And I wanted to find a good match that actually demonstrates this, because I don't think it's been talked about a whole lot. And especially in New England, this was not very common, as, like I said, there were only 3 Lobots playing in eliminations, and 2 of those were captains, which means they weren't actually picked. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. As we start this match, you'll see the configuration in auto as it go ahead and start it. It's right, which sets 195 up for their cross-field 3-scale auto. 195 is the only team in New England that I know of that has a 3-cube scale auto, and 319 gets 1 cube on the same side. You see the third bot going the standard third bot move, getting that 1 on the switch. Blue kind of does the same thing. 95 does a close auto, 4564 does the cross field, 1 in the scale. So you end up, red is up 3-2 at the end of auto. 195 actually missed their second one. And then as teleoperated starts, watch where these robots get the cube. Yeah, so if we pause there, 319 and 195 both go for unprotected cubes on defense. This is pretty standard again. And watch what the Blue Alliance does, though. They also go for that, but watch what they do with those cubes. So Orange Chaos 4564 actually puts theirs in the switch, and then 95 the Grasshoppers goes and puts theirs in the other switch. Meanwhile, 195 and 319 continue to score on the scale. And so the cube that 195 actually missed an auto ends up being picked up by the Grasshoppers and used against them. And Tyler, if you can back up just a little bit, go back to about 113 seconds. You'll see both blue robots are scoring in the red switch right there. Yeah. So notice what the red robots are doing at that time. They're both going to score on the scale, while all of the blue robots have ignored that. They won't touch the scale for the rest of the match. Blue has abandoned it. They know they're going to lose. 195 and 319 are too good. So they bum rush the switch at the beginning of the match. And they do, and they do a good job. They take it away immediately. And now 5846 is not really the strongest robot to help defend in this. They're not going to be able to hold it against Orange Chaos and the Grasshoppers. And I like the timing here because basically there's nothing 195 and 319 can do. They are stuck scoring on the scale. They are already there. Those cubes are going to go up on the scale, or they're going to be wasting time. So if we go ahead and keep it
Garrison,
rolling.
I want to jump in here right for 1 second. If we want to keep it paused, Tyler. So what you just mentioned was really crucial for this type of strategy, because you mentioned that 5846 wasn't going to be able to keep up. So why does this alliance have a team that can't keep up? It's the Serpentine. So the number one alliance's weakness is always going to be their third robot. And so when you have a 1 versus 8 matchup, their strength is their depth across all 3 robots. So you always need to try and find a way to take advantage of that last robot. And if that last robot is being assigned to protecting a switch, you have to go after it. That's a way easier win than trying to keep up on the scale as with 319 and 195.
Yeah, and I guess kind of highlight that. I want to talk, I guess this is a good point. I know we're in the middle of the match, but talk about the picks a little bit at this tournament. Yeah. They were strange. I didn't understand them. I thought there were better picks available for some of these teams. I didn't really understand 5846 is the last third pick, especially when there were better bots available. Like 6329, I thought would have done a great job in that position. Even 6328 Mechanical Advantage would have done it better. Like, I think you needed somebody that could actually defend your switch, because 5846 really couldn't do that against a whole lot of people, especially Orange Chaos and 95, both of which are great teams this year.
Sorry, back it up, Garrison. 6328 was available?
Yeah, 6328 wasn't picked. So,
really?
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, like I said, I hated the picks in New England. I didn't understand them. I didn't like them. Mechanical Advantage wasn't picked. Buck's Wrath wasn't picked. There were a lot of other good scale bots not picked. There were good switch bots not picked. It was strange to me. I kind of got what they were going for. 5846 is a great robot. They're reliable. They don't break. But I thought there were better robots to execute this strategy that they were trying to go for. But if you go with 5846, so is what they're doing here early in the match is they're using the protected cubes and just going for the vault while there are still unprotected cubes available. And 5846 isn't really the strongest, battler for cubes. So this makes sense to secure the early vault points, and because they're not really going to win a battle of taking cubes against one of these teams.
Garrison,
maybe it's the best. Yeah.
Comments in chat, by the way, about with 60, including one of them being from Big Bad Bob 319, saying that 319 could not lift the Bucks' Wrath, and that 6329 could not climb well with 195 or 319.
Interesting. So I totally buy that. And again, not saying like they didn't have their reasons. And that totally makes sense. Um, but you know, I'm not sure. I think it doesn't end up mattering, right? 195 and 319 go on and win this tournament hands down. They didn't even lose a single match. This was the closest one that they played, and it was what, 70 points difference. So, when I'm sitting here criticizing this, it's kind of a moot point. They won this district championship, and it wasn't very close. But yeah, I mean, 319 and 195 definitely know their robots and their compatibility better than I do. But that was one thing I was a little confused by, seeing some of those teams left on the table.
I'm more confused about why no one else picked 6328. Like,
yeah.
I guess I have. You know what? Hold on. I mean, I'm admitting I'm coming from a place of ignorance. I was at an event this weekend, so I only saw I cherry picked some matches to watch today, so I didn't see all the details. But just based on what I've seen this season from 6328, I'm stunned that they went unpicked. But hey,
yeah, they were a little inconsistent, but far more consistent than some of those bots picked up on the second round, I think.
Well, let's dive back into this.
I don't know. Yeah, let's do it. So, so we talked about 319 and 195 both going for that scale. They continue to go for the scale after this point. Like, watch 195 as they go up for the scale again. I don't get this. Blue Alliance has clearly abandoned it. They're not going to catch up. They're up, 5 cubes now on the scale? Blue Alliance is not going to win on the scale. And Red has already lost their switch. And if you look at that, if you look at the right side of the field, the red side, now there's 5 robots over there. Look how crowded that is. If you're blue, this is exactly what you want. Is you have a crowded field. You have your vault bot all the way on the left side, just doing its thing. And it's going for force. You see that one cube in force right now. They're about to put the second one there. And I love this move. They're going for 2 in force when you know you've lost the scale. It's a great economical move early in the match. So we keep going. These red alliance really aren't going to be able to take the switch back because of what I call pile leakage. Basically, it's especially on a losing switch, you have these cubes kind of boil over, and it's really hard to take it back because some of the pressure ends up on those fence walls. So as this keeps going, 45-57, they're actually they grab that last unprotected cube. Now they're going to scream across the field. Now there's 6 robots on one side of the field. 45-57 kind of adds insult to injury, throwing another cube up on that switch, and then they abandon it. That switch is locked down for blue, and now look, they're back. Okay, watch 95 here. This is a key point in the match. Stop it. Watch 95 play defense. They're playing defense right there on 319 Big Bad Bob. This is the most crucial point in the match. Watch how they're playing defense. So they're Tyler, if you go ahead and roll it. So they're playing great defense. They're locking 319 up here against the portal. And then what are they doing here? So they drive into the null zone between 195 and 319.
Can we pause and back that up?
Yeah.
So let's get back to when 319's at the portal. So 95 is playing defense the wrong way here because I know it slows 319 down, but you should play defense perpendicularly. They need to rotate their robot 90 degrees and force Big Bad Bob to push through them. So they
absolutely.
And if we let this play out again, actually take it back a little bit further, Tyler. Sorry, because I want to see when they're pushing at it. But yeah, and now let's start it again. So you want to because poking at them's just they're gonna find a way, and then they back off too soon and into the null zone. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't understand what the goal was here. I mean, you were in a pretty good spot. If they had turned 90 degrees, they could have really blocked that corridor, maybe forced them to go all the way around. It would have been a pretty good strategy. But yeah, then they back up into the null zone. They get 2 tech fouls there because 195 is on the other side, and they kind of just trap them there.
Well,
so they draw a couple of tech fouls.
Is like you look at a team like 95 is like they've been playing offense all tournament long, and so now they're playing defense. Maybe for like the first time this season, but like something that's a little bit outside of their wheelhouse. And so there's always this kind of misnomer where it's like, yeah, I'm going to pick an offensive robot, but then I'm going to, have them play D. And I mean, the best teams at D are teams who are practiced at it, and they, they'll just know the little things. And that's why things like this happen.
Yeah. A little anecdote here. I remember. So I was on 2468 in high school. Back in 2014, we were at the Alamo Regional. We ended up picking 148, the Robo Wranglers. And that was a very defensive game. That was a week 1 tournament. So the game was even more defensive than a lot of people remember it, with all the high-speed stuff. And 148, I remember didn't have a whole lot of experience playing defense. And we have a basketball coach as our coach. So he was really getting up in their face and sort of teaching them how to play defense. So yeah, a lot of these teams that don't have experience playing defense this year, and this is a really hard game to play defense in.
A lot
at
of
least to play it correctly. A lot of protected zones. You have to know where the other robot is going to want to go. That's you don't defend the robot, you defend the point that the robot's trying to get to. That's a pretty common mentality in defense in FRC, is defend, like you want to defend the robot from getting to the null zone. That's the only point they can score. And as soon as you get pushed into the null zone, or you drive into the null zone on your own accord, you sort of lose all defensive positioning and ability to actually, hold them from scoring. So I don't understand that decision by 95. But again, it's a heat of the moment. Maybe they were trying to go back and get a cube or defend against the vault, just trying to cross the field before 195 gets there. I don't know what the idea was. Maybe they didn't see 195. But yeah. Also, one thing to notice, and I guess we kind of skipped right over this, is Blue just finished playing their boost. I don't really like this. So you can see it going right there. They do boost their switch. I agree that they should have used the boost 1. I actually would have held on to it for a little longer here, about 10, 20 more seconds. And the reason is Red has not played any power-ups. Look at their vault. They have a few cubes back there. They haven't played them. But if Red is going to want to play Levitate, and they're going to want to play Boost. If you can hold it and basically you bait out their Boost, or you force them to play the Boost even later. Because look, Blue is up 20 right now. They did not think they were going to be up 20 right now. This is a close match. I would have held on to that Boost card. I'm a little curious to hear what you had to say. Is timing on power-ups has been a little weird, but
I like the idea of holding on that Boost to have that last second surge, but also to lock out Red of playing their power-up.
Yeah.
The flip side is if you mistime it and Red throws in their Boost or Force or whatever they want to use late in the match, you could lose your Boost. So, and I think Blue needs these power-ups more than Red does. So,
that's true. Blue is absolutely going to rely on the power-ups. Yeah, it's risky, but this is a very risky strategy. Remember, the whole reason I brought up this match for y'all watching is this is a risky strategy that you should use if you know you're going to lose the scale, right? I'm looking at these low bots that might end up in picking positions that the lower seeded alliance captains like this, and it's an 8v1 that need not necessarily a gimmick, but need another strategy to pull out against a 1 seed or a high powered scale alliance at championships. Right. But so if we roll it forward, we can go ahead and sort of finish this match out. All right, so teams are going to start trying to climb, and look, I mean, it's close right here. Blue is in the lead. Okay, you see Red used Levitate finally, putting the cubes in. Okay, there goes Boost. And they're boosting the scale. So this match is really close. And if barring those 2 tech fouls that 95 got from playing defense, and if the climbs were equal, because I know only 1 robot on the Blue Alliance actually ends up climbing here. If those things were equal, this match goes to Blue. Yeah, I mean, and Red, obviously, I mean, they have that great climb. You can see 319 over there still trying. They don't have a full vault. Tyler, you're just circling the flag guy? I don't.
Dude, his skills are pretty impressive.
So one thing is Red didn't have full vault still, so I think a couple extra cubes there would have helped. I think 319 is still going for the switch at this point in the match, which isn't worth the points. I think Red probably should have abandoned trying to get their switch back a little bit earlier. They go for it for a long time and never actually get it back. But all of these decisions that, I'm saying, oh, they should have done this, they should have done this, hindsight's 2020. And things would have changed if, and y'all have to keep that in mind. Every match we say, oh, they should have done this, they should have done this.
I mean, like a theme that we've been going through on FUNalysis this season, and also when Mason and I did Game Day Live, is if you want to beat one of these powerhouse alliances, there are ways you can do it, but it's not just about having the right strategy, which the Blue Alliance definitely did, but you have to execute perfectly. Like, just there's no way to beat a 195 and 319 when you're as outgunned as this Blue Alliance was without executing a smart strategy perfectly. They got the smart strategy part done, and I think they executed to like 80, 85%, but that's not enough to beat. Like, heck, 195 could be a world champion in a week and a half from now. Like, I mean, I think they're one of the favorites of Detroit champs. So, I mean, this 8 Alliance keeping it as close as they did, especially with 195 paired with such a strong robot like 319, this is impressive.
Absolutely. And I just remind nobody else at this tournament kept it this close. And they played against some really, really great robots. I mean, the finals was against Bobcat and Aces High. And yeah, that match wasn't even that close.
I mean,
yeah.
You could make the argument that 195 is the best team going into Detroit champs.
I've been making that argument for a while now. I think they're the best team at North champs.
I mean, I'm going to show you a couple teams in a bit when we talk about Ontario, who are up there with them. But like, 195 has set the bar really high.
I agree. I think one weakness, I don't know if you can call it that 195 has had, is they haven't played that many great teams. So like that match that I talked about earlier, they lost in this tournament, qualification match 110, where they played against the Neutrons, the Crusaders, and Burt, right? 3 of the best teams in New England. And 195 did their triple scale auto, and they missed their second or third one because basically their auto wasn't calibrated for a losing scale because they've never had a losing scale in auto before. They adjusted that for playoffs, and they missed their second or third cube almost every time. They never actually got it readjusted. So that one loss against really good teams, like one of their first matches against very, very strong competition, really hurt them going forward. I think they've learned a lot from this. I think they'll go back and watch match video, and I still think they're probably the strongest team coming into Detroit. They were number 1 on our Northeast top 10 list yesterday. I think they'll be way up there in the top 25 list later on tonight. But yeah, I think, them 2056, couple of those other Ontario teams are really strong, but I'm so excited to see when divisions come out, where these guys land.
All right, Garrison, we have a couple questions from the chat about this match. So the first one is from alt_Sutto. Do you think that districts hurt the most competitive teams in the region, or did it bring the midfield up to close the gap?
Okay. Anybody that says districts hurt teams needs to take a closer look.
Or they're from
Minnesota. Yeah. I don't think districts in any way hurt teams at the top end, at the low end, in any form or fashion. I think they help everybody pretty much universally. I think they helped. Let me explain why I think they helped the top teams specifically. I brought up that 195 didn't play against that much competition, but they play with the same people over and over again. They really develop relationships. And I think that once getting practice playing with the same teams over and over again is really helpful. The unbag time is really helpful. Having the district championships and the extra play is really helpful. I mean, they were 51-3 this season. That's 54 matches for not very much money. I want to find a regional team that played 54 matches this season. And those matches absolutely help. Look how much better they got throughout the season. Look at the Neutrons. They played like 7 freaking tournaments.
I would say,
they got so much better.
Back to the point that alt_Sutto makes here is like, did it bring the midfield up to close the gap? Yeah, I think the midfield in all districts has gone up, and so it's made things more competitive, and these top teams aren't waltzing as much. So, I think that's enough that we got to say about this match. We have some other questions, but we're going to save them until later on in the show. So right now we're going to go to Tyler's special surprise, and our producer Tyler has got a match breakdown for us.
Well,
I'm not even sure what this is yet, so I'm excited for this.
Well, excitement might go away. We'll see about that, Karthik, because I do have a special surprise, and I'm going to bring it up here in just a second as I'm trying to pull a little bit double duty, which is usually a bad idea for a show like this. But I will bring it up because, Karthik, you got a great match coming up, right? It's going to be Finals 1 in the Ontario Provincial. Is it provincial or provincial? How do you pronounce that, by the way?
Provincial.
Okay, Ontario Provincial Championship. So you got a fantastic match with that. But, you know, there's something that happened fantastic before that, Karthik, before that match started. You know what that is there was an amazing intro that happened. So I figured let's break down the intro a little bit. What do you think?
All right.
Yes.
I hate watching myself.
I know, and that's why this is going to be so much fun. So,
Dick smack. Oh wait, this isn't candidly speaking. I mean,
that'll happen.
Smack of some
Moving
sort.
on. So I'm going to actually have the audio on a little bit. I'm not going to do much drawing for this, but I did write some notes, and I want to talk a little about some of the technique of Karthik that we have on here, and truly the amazingness that comes with it as well. So. You're going to see as Karthik comes in, he's coming in with the intro for Finals number 1. Unfortunately, I have the wrong match number up in here, so let me fix that real quick. But with Finals 1, you're going to see that he comes up right away, raises his arms in triumph to address the entire crew. So let's take a look and listen to this real quick.
Welcome to the Finals!
I can't hear the audio.
No, yeah, so Karthik and Garrison can't hear the audio, but you'll see right after this, he's going to go from a huge point to the Namaste pose here. So I want you to take a look at this part.
It took us a while to get
Did you
here,
like that I wore a shiny shirt for the finals?
Right
And it said "We the North."
now. I want to go over some
Watch this
history
point.
here.
Point right here. Bam! Look at that. Look at that move right there. Like that's powerful stuff going on, and this just looks really, really good. So I like the way that he's going right now, and it looks awesome. So you're gonna see he kind of he's gonna start talking about things where he kind of makes it a little bit somber, and watch how he builds up the crowd as it comes up here.
Decades ago, people used to talk about how
Yeah, no, it's the low points that make this like so epic. It's the talking low, getting the whole crowd quiet.
Of the truth right
And then, okay, now he's picking up.
Look at that.
So, remember,
Bam.
I can't hear audio. There's the
Energy
screaming.
going
Yeah,
up there.
no, that's the energy.
So, and then he says, you know, forget about the teams. Let's talk about the huge things that are going on. I love, he's going to drop a Drake reference here in a little bit because he's got to do it at competition.
In Toronto, you have to.
High scores everywhere. 3 cube autonomous modes. Ontario has come to play.
So Drake reference coming up here in just a moment.
When the world thinks of Ontario, we think of our Leafs in the
So I mean, these intros get more epic every year.
We think of our superstars. We think of Drake. We think of Weekend. We think of Penny Oleksiak.
I don't even know who Penny Oleksiak is.
Olympic gold medalist from Toronto, from Scarborough, 16 years old, won the Olympic gold in the women's 100-meter free.
And now,
all right, so he's going to go to the intros here, guys. And I want you to look at these kicks coming up here because this is like tradition now that like every team, if you're on the finals field, you just get a kick right to you, right, and right to the glass. And Karthik, I'll let you talk about a little bit here, but I want you to watch the first one coming up here, and this is a huge double kick to start off with. And it's the way that we kick things off. Watch this coming in.
Can I point out about 10 years ago, I used to get my foot like to the top of the glass. It's so not a thing anymore.
Going back and forth, stretching a little bit, warming up, getting ready.
Got to make sure I get enough of a run up.
Watch this.
From Gordon
Bam! Right there.
Secondary School in Mississauga.
Yeah. Clears the medal. That's key.
All right, second one he goes in. You can't even count the awards. There's so many going on. And watch this huge single kick coming up here.
The second one's hard because look how short my run up is.
Yeah, you got that switch in the way.
This is torn ACL territory right here. Look at me going at the diagonal.
Bam!
Park Secondary School, OP Robotics.
2056 is unfazed. They're very used to this.
You're segueing great into my next point here, Karthik, because you have a rookie team now coming up that has probably never experienced a Karthik kick before. And that's actually what Karthik K stands for now, is Karthik Kick. And you're going to introduce the rookies. And watch the person in the middle. Watch the lady in the middle here and her reaction to this kick coming in. Because you know that she's just not expecting it.
Oh, and look how little room he has between these robots.
Oh, I almost
2056 is set up right next to him.
I almost
Here it comes.
Community team from
Oh,
Windsor,
oh my.
Robotics Amazon Warriors.
All right, so now let's go over the blue. 49-17.
Alliance.
Now watch this form this time here. It's a little more run up.
The robot is a work of art.
Well, when I can run up, I do run up.
Designed to specifications
Almost half field.
to play this game. Winners of 2 district events this year already won their field. Now trying to be the overall champ.
Man, I gotta know, is like one of these Ontario teams, is it more satisfying to win the banner or to have Karthik kick at your
Oh,
face?
look at this. It kicked back. Have you ever had that
they
before?
were ready for that. That's the first time someone's kicked back, so that was new. I love those guys on 49-17, Tractor Town.
Team number 49-17.
Tractor Town?
Well, they're actually called Sir Lancer Bot, but we call them Tractor Town.
Is that John Deere stuff going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. All right, we got 2 more here.
Another team with just a
We're literally
history
going to
of
go through every
excellence.
kick, eh?
They
Yep.
bring it on the
Oh,
field.
wow.
Now, you're starting pretty. Now, Karthik, you switched sides on this one compared to the other side when you did 2056.
Well, it's where I've got the best angle.
Hamilton
All right.
and Bishop Ryan Catholic Secondary School.
And now watch this last one here. Just shaking the imaginary chain of gold medals on Karthik's neck
All they
here.
did was win gold medals. And they're
Well, I'm
looking
talking
at
about how
doing it
49-39
again.
won 3 gold
Say
last
hello
year.
to team 49-39.
Representing Brampton and Central Peel Secondary School.
Gotta plan those
Ball
kick routes. I
Smart
like that.
9.
Hey, there's got to be some strategy to all this, you know?
All right, now last thing, guys, before we get into the actual match, the handshake is coming up here, and I want you to watch for this eye contact between Mr. Karthik Kanagasabathy and Tyler Holtzman at 2056. You see it coming. It's legendary. The camaraderie is insane, and this man is a legend here.
First
So
is
hold on.
about redefining STEM.
It's going to come up in
and
just a
creating
moment.
STEM heroes.
We talk about how
These
well
are
lined up
our
they are for the
heroes.
handshake. I worked really hard on
I'm
that.
so glad you did it the right way, because I've seen
And
so many
now we're
regionals
getting
where they
ready for our
shake with their
final match.
like with the wrong hand, and it's
It's
just
time
awkward the
for
whole
our
time.
ceremonial handshake.
Dude, I
Yeah,
drew
but sir,
I drew a map for all our MCs.
Watch
to
this
make
eye
sure they get
contact.
the handshakes
It's
right.
coming up. You can see Karthik looking extra time there. Ba-bam! Right there.
I mean, Tyler's been part of like 30 of these handshakes.
I know, he's the man, so. All right, that's going to wrap up for that. Karthik, very well done, sir. I think it's a great way to segue, by the way, into Finals 1. We did have one question for you that I want to bring up. Has your kick, Man 1506 wants to know, has your kick ever caused a technical issue before?
No, I've been lucky enough that I have not caused any sorts of problems. Like we've had teams' driver stations shake a bit, but now like we warn the alliances that the kicks are coming. We tell them to make sure their stuff is clamped down or held down. Like especially the veteran teams, they know that their third robot they got to take care of, so they're not surprised or caught off guard by the kicks. But yeah, I haven't effed anything up yet, but give it time.
Soon enough, right? So,
Yeah,
well, Karthik,
really.
thanks for being a good sport with that, man. I thought we'd change it up a little bit for the third one there. So let's go ahead and load up finals match number 1. What do you want to tell us about this?
Well, I mean, finals match number 1 at the Ontario Provincial Championship. Let's talk about the Ontario Provincial Championship. So 157 teams in Ontario this year. We ended up with 80 of them at the Provincial Championship split across into 2 divisions. There were a lot of people who were concerned, and me being one of them, that by going to 2 divisions that we were going to dilute the teams so far, that it wasn't going to be the same level of play that we had last year at Ontario Provincial Championship. But that wasn't the case. There were teams with 2 cube autos who didn't get picked for the elimination rounds. That's how stacked this event was. And, that's with 48 teams making the elims. So it was super intense. Over on the technology field, we had our number 2 alliance of 5406 and 4917, who overcame the powerhouse 1241 1114 alliance. So that just tells you, if you don't know much about 5406 and 4917, just pay attention to who they beat and who they beat clean. So like that finals match 1, all 6 robots were working, and they outscaled 1241 and 1114. So that tells you how strong these teams are. 4917 also had already beaten 2056 this season, and we're trying to be the first team ever to beat 2056 twice in a season. That's just not a thing that happens. So 4917 is just this powerful scale robot. 5406 has a 3-scale auto on one side, a 2.5 scale on the other side. So they are legit. In the science division, you have 2056, arguably one of the top 4 teams in the world, arguably the top team going to the Detroit Championship. Great scaling. Nothing special about their elevator in terms of they don't flip backwards, they don't do anything reverse. They're just super fast and efficient, and they have a clean 3-scale auto on one side. And 1325, their partner, is just one of the cleanest robots this year. Really efficient with all their movements. They won the York district event this year, and they were 2056's pretty clear number 1 pick, partially because they also have a 3-cube auto. So there was a 3-cube autos in this match, and it made for something really special. So I think we're ready to jump into this match. You kind of heard the backstory here, and I think this match was the most exciting match I've seen all year. I don't know about anyone else, and honestly, there were very few mistakes in this match. So I really think we're just going to kind of play this and appreciate it. I don't have much to talk about except for maybe some vault usage. So let's just dive in here. Right. We're going to have to jump to the 550 mark in the video, I believe, Tyler.
My bad. 1 second.
Also, I apologize you'll see it in a second. So right away, off in auto we go. 13. So let's pause right now. Pause. So where we're starting here, notice that 2056 is running switch, because 2056 was set up such that if the scale came up on their side, they would have run scale, but since it didn't, they were going to run a multi-switch auto to make sure that switch is locked in and good. So right now we're running 5406 crossing the field, while 1305 has the near side, and this gives them a nice little advantage. Let's resume. And so we see 2-2, and then 1325 hits their third. And let's pause right now so we can talk about this FMS version mismatch. I don't even know, but sorry, this is going to be on the screen. This was on the screen for everyone in the venue too, and our FTA started scrambling, not knowing what was going on, but they figured it out. It was just a minor little thing, and everything was fine, but we do have this weird little overlay.
Yeah, it's a little better than the bug in Michigan. They had caused a couple hours delay, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so let's dive in here. And so right away, as teleop begins, we watch 6875, the third robot for this alliance, the Amazon Warriors. They're playing defense right away, and they are making a point of going after 4917. But it looks like they just took a penalty there. Let's keep that in mind. Even though they took that penalty, they are doing a pretty good job of slowing down 4917. As this goes on, I want to watch what happens here coming up the 105 mark. And so 4917 has a cube. Let's let it go for a second. The defense being played by 6987, and pause it. They knock that cube right out of them. And so this is a strategy I'm waiting to see more teams do, where you go after the cube in the team's gripper. I'm not even sure if this was intentional or not, but it's something you can do. 6875 really did a decent job of slowing 4917 down. And that's crucial in this match, because 4917 does eventually take the scale away from the Red Alliance, but they would have done it sooner if it wasn't for this defense. And if they had done it sooner, things could have been different. So let's let this play out for a bit. Match goes on. Red has an early lead on the scale that they built on from auto. We see 2056 knock a cube off there, but things kind of go back and forth. 4939 has yet to score a cube outside of right after auto, because they've been playing defense. They've been doing some portal defense. So this has really turned into a 2+1 match. And, we get to the 72-second mark. Let's pause things right here and just take a look at our overview of the field. We see the switches have gone untouched since auto. 4939 dropped one cube off in the switch right at the beginning of teleop, and that's it. All the other actions have been focused on the scale. And even if you look at the vaults, 2056 has got 3 cubes ready for levitate, while the Blue Alliance, 4917 and 5406, have 1 cube in the levitate position as well. So this is a switch battle. But right now, things are kind of in the favor of red, but Blue has been, toying around with the switch. It's gotten close, and they have a slight lead right now. So let's just let this go for a little bit. And now the scale is back to even, and the scale stays even for a while. Now, Blue takes it back again. It's going very, very back and forth. Like, this is just a crazy, crazy battle. 2056 playing a little bit of defense here.
Can you pause right there just a second? So if you rewind just a little bit, Tyler. So yeah, 2056 playing defense here. If you run it forward, so 2056 goes and they try and delay this vault bot, but look what happens like 5-10 seconds down the line because of this.
Yeah, but so Garrison, I'm gonna interrupt you right there. So let's pause right now for a second, right as we see that the Blues about to take back the scale. Part of what I think 2056 was doing there, and I'm not positive, but they are a strategy that's pretty common in Ontario is that that strategic D where as you're on your way to your task, if you have the chance to hit someone, you hip check them. I think that's what 2056 was doing. They were in the middle of a portal run. They said, okay, let's just hip check here while we have a shot.
Right, and I totally agree, and I think that's a great strategy. But and it costs that Blue robot some time, but it slows 2056 down so much that another Blue robot's able to come and defend them, and it keeps them in the backfield for like 30 extra seconds. Just that quick bump.
Yeah.
Like if you keep rolling, they stay in that backfield for a long time.
Yeah, they do get portal trapped a little bit here by 4939. And so now as we resume here, we're going to see this little tag teaming of the scale by Blue. And now suddenly Blue's in control of that scale. And we do see 2056 getting locked up. But here comes strategies. Let's pause it right now. And as we see, 2056's human player has been stockpiling cubes but not putting them in the vault. At this point, he realizes Blue has the scale. Wouldn't this be a great time for a force? And they set themselves up for it. And let's resume right here. So even though Blue has just taken the scale back, 2 cubes into the vault by 2056, and boom, now they're forcing. This is a 20-point swing. This is massive. And just like for a team, let's pause it again here. For a team like 2056 who has not been trailing very often this season, they'd only lost 3 matches coming into this, and they'd been clean ahead. Just the wherewithal to know that, hey, if we're ever losing on the scale, let's make sure we throw a force in there is so, so savvy. And that is kind of the key to this match. So let's just keep watching. Time's running down. Everyone's trying to get extra points. Everyone's going back for their climbs. 17 seconds left. This is one we're going to get to. I want to pause right here. Pause. 2056's alliance, the Blue Alliance, them in 1325. Now they play a boost. They're not even owning the scale, but they play a boost here because they get some 10 extra points from the switch. And so this is important. It's also, by doing it this late, this goes back to what Garrison was talking about. Now the Blue Alliance is guaranteed they can't take full advantage of their next power-up because they're only going to be able to get it for 7 seconds. So for those 7 seconds, you would think, okay, the Blue Alliance has to know that they want to at least boost their switch because they know they're going to have their switch. So let's see what happens here at the end. And as it comes down, robots are hanging. That's not what I'm excited about. Pause it again right here. We notice 1 cube in the vault in the boost position for Blue. So they should have boost queued up right now because that's going to get them 7 extra points in this case. They should have that queued up right now. But let's see what they do. And then they added an extra cube, and then they boost it. So they boost the scale, which they don't own, and that hurts in a match that ended up being really close. So let's let this finish, and referees start adding things in. And then now we're going to get to one of the funniest moments at the event, and 0 pause. So here's the final score on the screen. Blue wins 386 to 368. The entire arena goes wild, not just the Blue Alliance. Everyone is cheering because Ontario teams are very weird and a lot of them just don't like 2056. This building just exploded, and it becomes so hilarious though after the fact because one of the refs didn't input one of the red robots being climbed. So the actual final score was 398 to 86. And when that score goes up, and we don't have it here, the arena freaking went silent. It was like, oh, and it was like, it was just funny to me. But like this match was like as close as it gets. It was absolutely fabulous, and there really weren't very many mistakes. Like when you're talking about like vault timing and whatever, like this was just a super high level match by 6 amazing robots, 4 fabulous scale bots, and then 2 robots that 6875, 4939 who played some great defense. As Garrison mentioned, 4939 had 2056 locked up for a good 15-20 seconds. And 6875 was the first team I've seen slow 4917 down all year long. So this was just, I don't know, like that was just a very, very cool match to be a part of. And like, I think the reaction in the arena afterwards, everyone was like, wow, that was so cool. And I mean, that was Ontario Champs. It was a very special event. I lost track of how many cubes were on the scale there, but it was, I think 13 or 14 on each. And man, it was a cool event to be a part of. And I think this is the kind of stuff we're going to be seeing in a couple weeks in Detroit.
So with that said, Karthik, we do have a couple of questions that we want to wrap up with. But before we do that, we do have that awesome giveaway from Christine Atia and Wordplay All Day. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, we'll bring it up in a little bit as the questions are coming in. But if you're interested in winning, make sure you follow or subscribe to First Updates now. Subscribers get 5 times luck. And the keyword that you are going to have to enter in to win this is going to be cheesy intake. This comes straight from Christine. So cheesy intake, I just put it in the chat. Go ahead and start spamming that as much as you want. That'll get you a chance to win, and we'll do that drawing right after our questions. So with that said, I'll let you guys kind of take this. We don't have that much time, so we'll be a little bit quick on the questions here. But question earlier from FTC Live, and there's 2 of these here actually, so I'll let you guys address these. Between the 3 teams, 195, 254, and 2056, who do you think could take it on an individual matchup? Or if you were to compare these 3 teams, how would you compare them?
2056 is the best. 254 is the best team in the world right now. There's just no doubt in my mind. So, 2056 and 195 are great, but 254 is just on another level. So, like if we're talking about if we had a one-on-one matchup, 254 would beat either of those teams.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think there are actually a couple. I think 254 is on another level right now. I actually think there are probably a couple other teams I might put on a similar level, though, as 195 and 2056. Robotics would be one of them. 2481, Mean Machine too. Same kind of deal. I would put them on that same level.
148, 118 as well. But 254 is on their own right now.
Yeah. As for the specific question, though, just 195 and 2056. I don't know. I think it's kind of a toss-up right now. I think it kind of depends on the day and maybe what the driver had for breakfast. And I haven't seen enough of 195. I've seen a lot of 2056 up close, but it's right. And I'm the exact other way around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen 195 up close a bunch of times this season, and I've seen them up against certain competition. I haven't seen 2056 up, and the competition in Ontario versus New England has played very differently this season. I think that the metagame has sort of been not the same, so it's tough to compare the 2. I think.
Absolutely. We do have to move on, guys, so let's go ahead to another question. So there's a question from Mike Buns asked, in regards to the match that you just covered, Karthik, 1325, he says, knocked a cube off a Blues side right as boost on the scale happened. Should that have been a penalty? And I'm not sure if I can reference back to that exactly or if there's a time code.
I'd have to watch it again to like. Yeah.
It's like 7 seconds left. It's right as they play boost.
Yeah, let's
see if I can fast forward real quick.
Yeah.
I'm happy to armchair ref it if we can see it. Okay, so 7 seconds left.
So you see that cube right on the right side there. That seemed to have fallen off.
Yeah, was that because of 1325?
What?
Yeah,
what actually knocks that off?
No, that's the opposite because the camera switches. So
1325 was on the opposite side though.
Yeah.
The 1325 there knocks one of their own cubes off, or they say,
Yep.
oh, the scale tilted and then knocked off the other side.
Oh, maybe so. That's not a penalty though.
No, that's
It's not even a penalty if they knock it off and it's not intentional. That's not even a penalty. We saw that with 118.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't call that a penalty. Now, should it be a penalty as per with the way the rules are written now? That's not a penalty. Should the rules be written differently? Yeah, because I definitely think we're almost out of time. I don't have time for this rant right now.
That's fine. So you can type symposium in the chat if you'd like. So
yeah.
All right. Last question we'll go through. I know there's a couple others, guys, but I apologize. We're running out of time. We had a question from P. Wright asking, how important is ending up right next to the scale with the cube after auto?
It's pretty important.
I think it depends on what you want to do next. If you want to score in the scale next, then yes, absolutely. I think that's exactly where you need to be. If you're one of these switch bot alliances like we talked about in the New England match we did earlier, I don't think that's necessarily where you want to be unless you're trying to distract the other team by being there. But yeah, I mean, in 99% of matches where you're wanting to go take the scale as soon as possible and you need that early, yes, 100% you should be right by the scale.
Right. If you're a scale bot, you want to be right by the scale. If you're a switch bot, you don't want to be right by the scale.
All right.
Right, yeah.
With that said, we're going to go ahead and do our giveaway here, guys. Don't forget promo this a little bit, but stick around. FRC Top 25 coming up in about 10-15 minutes. So with that said, the giveaway for the Christine Tia Wordplay All Day Amazing Sauce sticker that's coming to you, and that's going to go to, let's roll for this. MMMan 1506 asked a question earlier, a subscriber, and now the winner of this awesome sticker. So reach out to me on Twitch or Discord with your mailing information, or if you're going to be at Detroit Championships, Christine can hand it to you personally. So congratulations, and thanks for being a subscriber to First Updates Now.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up our episode of FUNalysis. So Garrison, thanks for joining us tonight on short notice. You did a great job. What are your plans for the next couple weeks?
Well, I have to graduate college, so I'm actually not going to be at either of the FRC championships. I will be at Vex Worlds, which I'm sort of contractually obligated to be at. I'm very excited, though. It's one of the most fun events of the year. And yeah, I should be around at championships next year and season and fun in the future. So I'll see some of y'all around.
I am pumped to hang out with you in a couple weeks at Vex Worlds. Tyler, thank you again for putting together tonight's show. What's up for you at these championships?
Yeah, I'll be at both championships. Houston, I am flying in on Thursday. If you'd like to catch up, we're going to have a lot of the hosts at Houston and Detroit at the Alumni Mixer on Thursday night of each one of those. So stop by there. Otherwise, you will see me probably everywhere around the champs floor, filming as well. So look forward to meeting most of you guys at the championships.
I am not going to be at either championship this year, but I will be at Vex Worlds for the long haul. So anyone who's going to be there, feel free to come up and say hi. As for the rest of everything, let us know what you thought of the show tonight. You can reach us on our Discord, Facebook, Chief Delphi. We want to make this content that you want to see. I want to thank all of our supporters who gave bits, tipped, or subscribed. We're going to be back with FUNalysis next month, and you'll be sure. I'm sure we're going to be covering both the Detroit and the Houston championships in some way or another. If you're watching live to see the FRC Top 25 show, well, stick around. It's coming up at the top of the hour to find out who's going to get those coveted spots and those coveted stickers at championship. Mm-hmm. So, on behalf of myself, Garrison, and Tyler, I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in, and especially our moderators in chat. We'll see you next time on Fun, and talk to you then.